All right, hey there, welcome everybody to my review of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, aka Legend of Skyrim Breath of the Creed. I joke, right? I already said in another video that I'm torn because I think this is actually a fun and an enjoyable game, uh, but I don't really know how to feel about it. And the main problem I have with it is you know, this doesn't really feel like a Zelda game. Now, before you go ahead and shut this off and stop listening, hear me out. Hear me out. So, when you think of a Zelda game, right, you're going to think of either depending on when you were introduced to it, because I mean, in my opinion, depending on when you started playing Zelda is when what you're going to imagine a Zelda game to be. But they all have generally the same feel to them. But like if you played it around the time that I first started playing, you're gonna think about the original 8-bit NES Zelda, right? Not Adventure of Link, but because most people didn't like that at the time. But the original one, you started off on a screen with a cave. I guess you could figure out it was a cave. Then you go in, you grab this piece of wooden thing, sword, and you go around and hit things, and you're not really sure what you're doing, but you like fumble your way into a tree and like, oh, it's the first dungeon, or maybe you find some other dungeon by accident because it's just how it is. If you want story, you gotta either read the manual or wait till the credits roll through, and then you get an idea of what's going on. That's about it. There's not a whole lot of game telling you what to do, what you're supposed to do with certain items. You don't even know what items are most of the time. It's just like, oh, this piece of whatever the hell this is a recipe for a potion. How are you supposed to get that? How would you know to give that to an old woman? Okay, so like, there's all kinds of things, right? Um, then you got like the Legend of Zelda. If you're a little bit further on, A Link to the Past. That's another really good one. It kind of smoothed out a lot of the issues that there were in the original game, as far as not really telling the player what they're supposed to be doing most of the time. It gave you a map screen, told you, in general, this is where you need to go. This is what you kind of, not really not what you need to do, but just kind of told you where to go. Like, here's an X on the map to tell you this is probably where you should be going now. If you didn't really listen to what the people were telling you, then you don't really know what the hell you're actually doing, but you know you're going there. And generally, if you go into a dungeon, you know you're going to kill some stuff and fight a boss and probably get some item, and it'll be cool. Um, Once you got the three pendants, and you go get the Master Sword, and it was awesome. Um, and I mean, the game was really good. You could still kind of go anywhere. Once you got past the first three dungeons, you could kind of tackle the next ones in whatever order, as long as you got the hammer. Like, there were a few things that you were kind of stuck doing them in a certain order in a way, but you could do stuff in a different order if you knew what you were doing. So it was actually really good. Um, it was a little bit linear, but not to the degree of the next big game, which was Ocarina of Time, however you want to say that. I say Ocarina. Anyway, um, that is where the game started getting really hand-holdy, and I'm not saying it's a bad game by any means. It introduced a lot of new stuff to the series. It really showed how to do combat in a fully 3D environment. Um, but it did have like the internet's meme for like overbearing helpful characters, right? Like tutorial things. Like, every time you started doing anything, Link, listen, Link, hey, go over here. There's a thing you gotta do. Oh, you knew that? Whatever, just go over there anyway. You just keep doing what you're doing, and I'll keep annoying the hell out of you. So yeah, that's basically what that was. Um, but it wasn't a bad game. It did start to make things a lot more linear. Like, you're basically locked into a path, and you have to go that way. Like, there's might be a couple different ways to accomplish your objectives, but you're definitely on a one set course. This is where you're going. This dungeon, then this one, then this one, then this one, with maybe one or two exceptions along the way. Um, so that was, I mean, that's meh. It was good. It had more story. It really engaged the player a lot more with the story, and that wasn't terrible. is actually not bad. I really liked it. Not as much as I liked Link to the Past, because Link to the Past is actually my favorite, even though my first game was, like I said, the original. Link to the Past has always been my favorite. Um, all right, then we come to Breath of the Wild, right? Like, it tries to kind of be a mixture of some of those in a way, but I don't think that was even their intention, like really looking back at it. So I mentioned it's kind of like Skyrim, right? So that's in the way that it's like a big open world. You're free to go off and do things however you want. There's not really any. I mean, it gives you a main quest, which why the hell does it need to give you a main quest of defeat Gan? It's Zelda. You know what you're supposed to be doing. You know it's a go kill Ganon type of game. That's what you do in Zelda. Save the princess, kill Ganon. That's it. Um, well, whatever. We're gonna have a quest for that. And great. It also kind of annoys me that it, you go off and you pick up all these side quests, which isn't a bad thing because every Zelda game has had some form of side quests in it, right? Except for maybe the original one didn't really have too many. But like they generally have side quests. That's not out of the ordinary. It's a good thing. It adds more depth, more stuff for you to do besides just following the main path of the story. Unfortunately, you kind of just go grab them all and then do them whenever you feel like it. They don't mean anything. They don't change anything in the game. Like I was saying Link to the Past again, right? So if you help out certain characters in the game, they show up in the ending scenes. Like they're part of it. That's cool. It's like the things you did on the side mattered. In this, it doesn't really matter because who really cares if you gave this dude 10 glowing rocks or crap, help that guy collect 10 crickets. It doesn't really matter that much. So yeah, that's a thing that happens. Who cares, right? They just don't mean anything. That's the problem with them. And most of the time, they're just to give you some general item. Um, but it's a lot of stuff is just redundant and not. There's no point to it. Uh, the other part of it that, like I said, is kind of like Breath of the Creed, the Assassin's Creed part. All right, so there are towers, like I think 8 or 9 of them, and they have no function other than they are places that you could fast travel. And you climb to the top of them, much like you would in Assassin's Creed. You climb to the top of a tower, a high point in the area, and then you use the thing in the middle, or you use whatever, and now you can see the surrounding area. All right. Now it tries to like sell it as like you go to the top of these towers and you can look around and see what stuff is, but you really can't see shit from the top of the tower. I mean, you can sorta, but I mean, you basically just wander around and you find shit. Looking at the map itself is where you can generally tell like, well, this looks a little bit weird how there's like 3 dots here in a row. That's probably a thing. I should go look at that. Stuff like that is just I don't know. It's dumb. I mean, they completely mercilessly rip that off from Assassin's Creed. That's all that is. It's a rip off of those games. Why? Why couldn't they just come up with their own thing? And the fast travel in general, I just have an issue with because it just seems really crammed in, right? Like fast travel it's in every other Zelda game. Like I'm not saying that that's a bad thing for a Zelda game, especially with a huge map like this. You gotta have some kind of fast travel. But in the other games, you earn it, right? So, like in the original game, you either gotta find the bracelet so you can move the rocks and get to the warp points, or you find the whistle, the flute, whatever you want to call it, and that summons a tornado that takes you places. In Link to the Past, there is a freaking darn, what's it called? Ocarina. Yeah, basically that. And you use the flute, is what it is. You use the flute after you free a bird. You had to like go find the damn thing, and like you don't get it right away, but you find it, and then now you're able to teleport around or not teleport, but like fly around different places. That was cool. Um, Ocarina of Time, you learn different songs as you progress through the story to get to places. Again, you earned it, and it was neat. You actually had to walk through certain places, right? Like you couldn't just be there. Uh, and that's kind of the problem with Breath of the Wild is like you don't really. It's just like a rush from point to point, and you're just going from place to place from each shrine that you have to go to because that's like the main thing in this game is go to the shrines, solve a dumbass puzzle, which you're gonna feel like you're cheating through most of the time because they want you to like light torches on fire. Well, the way to do it is take your handy dandy controller here and do some stuff where you wiggle it around and that moves a box and that makes the torches touch things. It's as annoying as hell, and it's so much easier to just use a frickin' bow and arrow to light the shit on fire like way faster and easier. Yeah, so why the hell would you just do that? All right, I'm gonna let that go. I'm just gonna move on from there. But yeah, it's just really crammed in, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. Uh, No, in this game, all you get is you just, you use like some piece of software on your ancient ninja tablet. And speaking of that MacGuffin, so the thing in this game is the Sheikah slate. So you get that from the beginning, and it's basically just like an all-powerful Omni tool that solves any problem and can do literally almost anything. It can stop time. It can lift magnetic objects. It can freeze water into columns for some reason. You can do like Apple Pay and Android Pay. Like no shit. Like watch him walk up. Look at this shit. He walks up to this like temple and just like waves this fucking thing over like he's buying a cappuccino, and there you go. Sweet. He can teleport here now. It also lets you teleport because that's what it does. Sheikah peoples were freaking crazy, strong, and intelligent. Like, what the hell is that? Okay, so they also changed the Sheikah. Like, they used to be like, I don't know, like a hidden society. In this, they were apparently like the most ingenious scientists ever because they let you build these freaking scientific marvels that only one of these things even exists anymore. And yeah, like a bunch of computer systems that drip freaking eye drops onto your tablet to make it know the map. Oh god. Okay. Let me just calm down a second. I've been just kind of. I'm just ranting. I'm just ranting. I'm freaking ranting. It does inventory management. It does maps. It does fucking pictures. It takes selfies. For fuck's sake, it takes selfies. It takes recipes. It's a tablet. It's a smartphone. It's all right. Moving on. Just moving on. So a new thing I hate in this game is durability. Why did they add durability? So you can pick up a limited number of weapons and bow and arrows or bows and shields because reasons. You can expand that capability later on, so you can carry more stuff by finding one of 800. Well, finding some of the 800 little wooden creatures that exist and talking to some big fat tard tree that will make you have the ability to carry more junk. I does it seem like I just made that up? Like when you put it that way, does it not sound a little stupid? All right, you know what? Whatever. So yeah, all right. So you can get all these new things, and you're gonna pick up literally every weapon you find, especially in the beginning, because you'll find that the shit breaks all the time. Like you will break almost every weapon you find. Even the Master Sword, it breaks. I mean, it doesn't break, right? Okay, it runs out of energy, but how the hell does a sword run out of energy? Even if it runs out of energy, you would still think it functions as a blunt and or sharp object that you can smack things with, right? Like that just makes sense. But apparently not. Apparently it runs out of energy and it just feels like I don't want to be playing right now. And that's what the Master Sword does, because that's what it's known for, is being a pussy ass sword that just doesn't feel like playing anymore. Alright, well, whatever. Okay, so the problem with this system is that it just really kind of made me want to hoard all my weapons, and it took the fun out of combat because I didn't want to fight anything anymore because I was tired of just breaking my damn weapons, never having them when I actually needed them, when I wanted to go do something. So it turns out, it's just like, well, I'll hoard all the good weapons, and I'll just not fight things anymore. Why? Why is that? Why is that a thing? Why couldn't the game just, have you find a weapon or you buy a weapon and you upgrade it like the armor works? Like if they would have done that like it did with the armor, That would have been fine. I would have been fine with that. Or just like limit the number of weapons, but like let it so you can make it so you can upgrade stuff like that. You know, that would have been a lot better. Just the fact that you keep constantly break things just is a pain in the ass because there's like a million two of like any one thing that you find. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. You know, shields and the bows is the same thing. They also made Link just a complete and total wuss in this game. Like to really just nail the coffin on the combat. You'll find real fast that pretty much anything kills you in one hit, and anything else kills you in two or three hits at the beginning. Like you'll come across this thing called a Lionel pretty early on, especially if you go and fight like the Zora quest. They'll come face to face with all these things, and they want you to go steal some arrows from it. And you're like, all right, I can do that, and then it just like hits you with a fucking arrow, and you're dead like immediately. And it's like, well, that's cool. Thanks for that. Guess I'll hit continue and wait a minute for the damn thing to load again. I just don't get it. I don't understand why they had to make Link complete puss. Now, if you do your due diligence and spend $1,600 or rupees on, you know, the fairy fountains, because by the way, the great fairies, they still exist in this world, but you have to have a fairy fountain fee. Like you have to, the first one charges you 100 rupees for her to like, you know, be useful. The next one, 500, because that's where they get their powers from money. These gold digging fairies. I know it sounds kind of like hate speech, but it's not. That they are literally gold digging, rupee digging fairies. Anyway, they only care about your money. That's all it is. And the last one, guess how many rupees you have to spend? How much you think? You go from 100 to 500 to 1,000. What's the next logical step? 2,000? 4,000? 5,000? 10,000. 10,000 frickin' rupees to get the next one to open up. And what does all this do for you? Well, the more fairies you have, the more likely they are to molest Link. That's basically how that works. So in order to, I'm going to explain that. So in order to, they enhance your armor basically by one level each time. And it requires random items that you will pick up, and I will get that inventory thing in a second, don't worry. But they require you to have different items to enhance a piece of armor, and the first time the fairy just kind of blows on you, you know, and looks up your tunic, whatever, right? The second time, they kiss the finger and they poke you with it, because, you know, that's how they enhance it. The third time, it blacks out the screen as they come careening towards you with their giant fairy lips. And the fourth time, you don't even want to know what happens. So, it's kind of like, you know, Mr. Slave and Paris Hilton. Not really, but still, like, that's kind of where you would expect it to go, right? That's like the escalation of it. Anyway, so basically, if unless you get upgraded armor, which nothing tells you to buy armor, it doesn't tell you how important it actually is. Like you don't realize how much like 18 more armor is going to make a difference, but it makes a huge freaking difference. Um, Nothing tells you how important that is, but man, it's freaking important. So you get all these get like the new armors, which again cost more money. So like let's say you just want to buy like a typical knight armor, it's going to run you like 3,000 rupees probably, and the money's hard to come by. Like it's not like in the old games where you kill something and they drop rupees. I mean, some enemies do, but not very many, and it kind of sucks. You end up just selling stuff, but you need the stuff to get like the freaking stuff that you need to enhance the armor. So, it's annoying. But anyway, yeah, I just didn't find the combat all that fun. Not really. There's kind of a dodging and parrying mechanic that's built in, but it kind of sucks. Because either you're just gonna mash the attack button until things fall down, or you're gonna try to be fancy, and in very few circumstances it'll work well. That's about it. Um, all right, so the other thing is the inventory, right? So there's no weight limit. Unlike, Skyrim or Fallout, there's no weight limit, and you're just gonna pick up everything because why would you not just pick up everything if that's the case, right? Like you never know what you're gonna need, so you literally pick up everything you can because you gotta sell it for money, or you can eat whatever the hell you want to get hearts back. If you're low on hearts, there's no like killing an enemy, picking up a heart like the old games. Um, it's here you go, just pause the game and eat a bunch of stuff, and then you'll have your hearts back. And a lot of things give you like one heart back, just one heart back, unless you cook them, which is easy to do and takes a while for the most part. And then you're still gonna have like most of the time when you cook stuff is only gonna give you like five or so hearts back. Some will give you like maybe eight or so. Uh, so it's not gonna fill you up that quick, and you're just gonna have to still chow down a bunch of stuff. And really, the game just feels like you're cheating. So like the more you play in this game, it doesn't feel like you're getting stronger. It just feels like you're cheating, and that is it's really hard to explain, but the game gets so simple once you get like more armor and once you start to take advantage of some of the gameplay mechanics. Like it just feels like you're cheating. Like you can literally freeze enemies in time using your fucking time stopping tablet. I'm not trying not to get mad about it again, but you can literally stop them and just hit them a bunch of times and they die. And that's it. And there's no penalty for that. There's no magic meter. It's just like use the stasis skill and then you wait a little bit. Use it again. Like wait all about 3 seconds and you can use it again. One of the skills you get from doing the divine beasts or doing the dungeons is there's four. I'll come back to that. But you get like a skill that whenever you're about to die, like whenever you take your last bit of damage, it brings you back to full life with 4 extra hearts. All right. It's got like a 10-minute recharge time, but that's about as often as you probably end up using it anyway. It's just so. You feel like you're cheating. You don't feel like you're getting more powerful or you're better at the game. You don't get better. You just feel like you're cheating. It sucks. The older games like you get different armor that gives you more the ability to take more damage, and it's still like a fair challenge. But no, not this. This you just it just feels like it sucks. That's all I can say about that. All right, so that's pretty much that. Back with the food, you can cook stuff to make potions, which you need because there's certain areas of the world where it's either going to be really hot or really cold. And this was actually a really cool mechanic, I thought. I really liked this because like there's like a snow part, and you had some options. You either find armor that lets you, keep warm, or you just take a torch with you, and you'd use your torch to just kind of keep you warm, or you'd build fires along the way, or you could light different fires on the way to keep yourself warm. Deal with some of the damage, just heal yourself up with stuff that you found as you scavenge, uh, or you just eat like some food that you make, and that's actually not bad. I kind of like that mechanic for the most part. There's a few spots where it gets ridiculous, but it's not bad. The only problem I have with it is it kind of makes you have to grind and farm materials, and that's because the ones that you need to make the stuff are generally not super easy to find, and you gotta just go out of your way to get them. So it's not bad. I actually kind of like that. It adds a bit more depth, and plus like farming stuff isn't even that bad because I mean like if you're trying to find like a specific type of herb or something, you just take a picture of it with your tablet and then use Wi-Fi to find more of them. I don't want to talk about it anymore. All right. I guess the biggest problem that I have with this game, though, is just the story and the characters. Really, the game starts off with the story being very muddled. You don't really have a clear idea of what the hell's going on. You kind of come across an old man from the beginning, don't know who the hell he is, but you assume that he's got to be important, and you kind of like, well, he must be house for a lot or something, because he's got the beard and everything. So that's what you figure he is. I won't tell you who he is, but spoilers, fucking stupid. Um, I don't like that character. I don't like any of the characters really, because like I've been kind of only like one of them. So like you find out that basically you died in the past. You know, they made you you died, you sucked, you got your ass beat by Ganon, and they took you to a place to get resurrected. It took 100 years. All your friends are dead, your pets are dead, the whole world is freaking dead, and that's it. That's all there is to it. Now you gotta fix it and do everything on your own, kind of. Whoop-de-doo. I mean, it's kind of just depressing. Like everything sucks. Um, and you hold out hope that maybe I'll get back to that. I'll get back to that. But most of the characters like you have to what the only like character development you get is kind of through flashbacks, which there's a total of I think like 15 or 16, maybe 17 most, and that's about it. And you learn. Oh man, this is gonna bother me, but I gotta say it. The way you get your memories back. Can you guess how you get your memories back? Do you have any idea how you get your memories back in this game? Well, it has to do with that damn tablet. Yeah. So basically, Zelda took a bunch of pictures of shit. Like, even when they were on the way to getting fucking murdered by these guardian things, she was still taking pictures of shit. And yeah, you gotta go find all the places where she took pictures. So you get a picture, and you're like, well, because I gotta go find wherever the frick this is. So like, there's a castle in the background. All right, he's kind of trying to match up where the castle is based on the angle and some stuff, and it's not super hard for most of them. Some of them are just like, where the hell would this even be? Because there's like trees. Oh, there's trees everywhere. You just kind of hope you find the spot you're looking for, or just freaking Google it. Um, but yeah, you go to the place, and then Link squints real hard. He squints as hard as he can, and then he goes, "Oh, I remember this now." That's how he does it for literally every freaking memory. And the problem with doing cutscenes, like a lot of them, where characters are talking to Link, is that Link is a freaking mute. He never has talked. He doesn't talk aside from the usual yeah, ha, what, and whatever the hell kind of shit he says. That's all he says. That's all he does. That's who he is. For some reason, they thought it'd be a great idea to have a shit ton of cutscenes, and he doesn't talk, and it's just kind of weird. Um, I mean, they even kind of make a couple jokes about it, but that means that they knew that that was dumb. And they still did it anyway. I just don't get that. So yeah, you get a little bit of character development, and most of the characters are dicks. Like the Gerudo chick is, I mean, she's a Gerudo, but like she's not like particularly cool about anything. Zelda's a total bitch. She's just a complete emo bitch the entire time. Like she doesn't really like, oh, it so sucks to be me. I have to freaking use this power I can't figure out how to use or something. I've been everywhere, and why can't I do this? I just want to do things. Shut up, Link. Whatever. And it's like, oh god. You just expect Link to just be like, well, excuse me, princess. Like you expect that because it's just so stupid. It's like this sucks. She's not a strong character. She doesn't know things. For being like the person who generally holds the Triforce of Wisdom, she's a freaking idiot. Um, the bird character is a complete douche, just from the beginning to the end. Uh, the Zora girl is, I mean, she's not bad. I kind of like her, although there's like this weird subplot with her wanting to have like weird fish sex with Link, which I guess is kind of like a throwback to Princess Ruto from Ocarina of Time. So that's a thing. And then the Goron guy. I actually like the Goron guy, but he's got almost nothing in the story. Like there's really only one time outside of his specific area where he talks. And that's it. And it's like, it's great. Like you want to feel something for the characters, like there could be something there. It could have been really good. but they just kind of like made it so that they're just not that developed and nothing you really care that much about. Mifa, the Zora chick, is like the only one that you actually are kind of like get attached to. And that was it. So I mean, that's that. Um, Now I'm gonna give you a chance to just to skip towards the end or something, or stop listening because there's about to be spoilers about the ending because I gotta talk about the ending. Just have to. So if we're gonna leave, go ahead and leave now. For those of you that are staying, here we go. So the ending is complete and utter crap. So the last boss. Remember how I said it's like you're cheating if you play the game? Yeah. So if you beat the 4 dungeons, which by the way, there are a total of 4 frickin' dungeons. 4. That's it. There's nothing else. You know how like the old tropes of Zelda were, where like you'd fight through 3 dungeons, and the 3 dungeons, and after you do 3 dungeons, you'd earn the Master Sword, and then there'd be like 8 more dungeons before you get to frickin' Ganon, and you'd have to get like a bunch of people to help you break into that. No, to get into the Hyrule Castle, you just go in, however you feel like doing it. That's about it. Nothing special there. You just go in and go to the top. You don't have to do shit. Like the last dungeon isn't even a dungeon. Hyrule Castle is just a walk to the end. There's things that are trying to shoot lasers at you, but who the shit cares? Because you can just time freeze them and keep on running. Or one shot them with one of your guardian arrows that you'll have a million of because by the time you're at the point in the game, who cares? You're pretty much invincible at that point. Um, yeah, so you just go in, you get to the end, and then you fight Ganon. If you've got all 4 of the things, like I said, it's like cheating because they literally kill him halfway. They take away half his health with their blast, completely eliminating the first phase of the fight, which is not that much different than the second phase or the third phase because it's not a very original boss fight. In fact, he uses a lot of the same techniques, actually all the same shit that the other 4 bosses did. So if you fought the other 4 dungeon bosses, then you're really not going to be that bad off. It'll be pretty easy for the most part. He's big and intimidating, but not that hard to kill. It's actually super fucking easy to kill. You can even like do a sidestep dodge and then just like beat the shit out of him because that's what you do in the game. Okay, just the game, the boss sucks. You beat the first form of Ganon, and of course turns into a big pig demon thing, and then you ride around on horseback, and there's a bow and arrow. So yeah, you use light arrows. That's actually I'm glad they had that in there. That was actually probably the best part of the game was the ending fight. That I actually enjoyed that, and that was it. So you beat Ganon, and then the game. This is see behind me. I just beat it. That's what happens. It goes back to the opening stage, and after that, you can load your game. And you know what happens then? You start outside of Hyrule Castle, and you can walk around, and nobody seems to notice that you killed Ganon. No one cares. He did all that crap, and Ganon's still there. You can fight him again if you want. You got to keep all your stuff that you have. Nothing's resolved. Nothing's over. There's no ending where it shows all the different people. You know, everyone's better off now. There's nothing. It's there's nothing. Ugh. It's so sad. It's so sad and so disappointing that this is how the game ends, and this is how a Zelda game ends. It's garbage. It's fucking garbage. So let me sum all this up. All right. So the game has gotten a lot of praise. It's gotten a good bit of praise of being great, and it's not a bad game. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's by no means a bad game. I think it's well worth the price of admission, actually. Surprisingly, I think it's worth playing. I think it's a fun game. But what sucks is that there is a lot of potential, and it's just sad that they try to steal so many ideas and cram them into this other game, into this game, that it stopped really being a Zelda game. Like they tried to modernize it so much that it's really lost its identity as a Zelda game. Instead of, like I said, earning the Master Sword, just get enough hearts and then you can pull the Master Sword out of the rock and carry on. I mean, you basically start with it because according to the memories, you had it from the beginning. It doesn't even tell you how you got it. You just got it. Somehow you just got it because you're the guy. So here you go. Have a destiny, I guess. Instead of having character development and having all these different side quests that are meaningful and having different characters that are cool and interesting and you get to know, instead of getting a group of 7 sages or whatever together, having your friends help you out along the way, Zelda's all powerful except for when she's not, for some reason, because she loses her powers. No one knows why. Is this a fun game? Yeah, it's a fun game. It's reasonably fun. It's worth the price to play it. Is it a Zelda game though? No. No, this is not a Zelda game. This is a game that could have just as easily been its own franchise with a separate set of characters. This is not a Zelda game. This is just a game that is trying to be like all of the other games out there that have been successful. This is a rip-off cash grab with the name Zelda attached to it. That's all this is. So, I mean, I'm not saying don't play it. That was fun. Play it, but if you are only playing it because it's a Zelda game, then don't play it because it's not a Zelda game. That's all there is to it. But thanks for watching. Appreciate you all looking at these videos, watching all my stuff and my content, and like, subscribe. That really helps me out, keeps me going, lets me make more of these videos and stuff. Um, yeah, if you want to see more videos, please like, subscribe. I can't say that enough. Like, subscribe, like, and subscribe. But yeah, again, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with me through this, and I'll see you on the next one. Later.